So this is your Unit 8 test review. Let's go ahead and start with number 1. It says a rectangle has a length of 5x plus 2 units and a width of x minus 2 units. Write the expression that represents the area of the rectangle. Okay, if you remember to find the area of a rectangle, it's just length times width. So you're going to be multiplying 5x plus 2 times x minus 2. So we're going to go ahead and fill in our little square over here. And we have 5x plus 2 and x minus 2. So 5x times x is just 5x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. Negative 2 times a positive 2 is a negative 4. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and combine your like terms. The only thing that you can combine are the x's. So you have a negative 10x and a positive 2x right here. We can combine, so we have 5x squared. Negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8, so negative 8x. And then you have a minus 4 left over. So your expression for the area of the rectangle would be 5x squared minus 8x minus 4. Okay, number 2, it says study the table below. You have a to the first power, all of that squared, and it gives you a squared. A squared to the third power gives you a to the sixth. A to the third power, all of that to the fourth power gives you a to the 12th power. A to the fourth power, all of that to the fifth power gives you a to the 20th power. And it says based on the pattern in the table, what is equal to a to the b power, all of that to the c power. Well, if you just remember your exponent rules, here you have a power to a power, which means you're going to multiply. So 1 times 2 gives you 2, 2 times 3 gives you 6, 3 times 4 gives you 12, 4 times 5 gives you 20. So here we're going to have your base of A, and you're just going to multiply, so you have B times C. Okay, number 3, it says the terms 3x squared, 6x cubed, 12x to the fourth power, and 24x to the fifth power represent a sequence of numbers in a code. By what number is each term being multiplied to find the next term? This one is fairly easy because if you just look, you have to do 3 times 2 to get 6, 6 times 2 to get 12, 12 times 2 to get 24. So you can automatically eliminate D and B. And then when you're multiplying with your exponents, you're going to add. So to go from 2 to 3, you have to add 1. 3 to 4, you have to add 1. 4 to 5, you have to add 1. And remember, your invisible exponent is a 1. So the answer here would be C. Number 4 says what is the simplified form of? You have 12x cubed y to the fifth, z to the sixth power. All of that is divided by 4x, y to the fourth power, z to the third power. 12 and 4, those are not exponents, so we're just going to divide them. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then you have 3 bases. We're going to have x, y, and z. So we'll start with x first. When you divide, you just subtract your exponents. You have a 3 up top. Down here, the invisible exponent is 1. So when we subtract, we have 3 minus 1, which is going to give you 2. The next base is y. You have 5 minus 4, which is just 1. And then the last one is z. 6 minus 3 is just going to give you 3. So 3x squared y z to the third power is your simplified form. Alright, number 5 says simplify the expression. You have x cubed y to the fourth, all of that to the second power. Okay, pretty much what you're doing is going to be distributing this 2 to the 3 and the 4. It's a power to a power, so you're going to multiply. So we have x, 3 times 2 is 6, y, 4 times 2 is 8. Since x and y are different bases, you can't simplify this any further, so that's your final answer. Number 6, given the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 4 with a domain negative 3 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, what is the range of the function? All you're going to do, since this is your domain, is you're going to plug this in for x and plug that in for x. So first we're going to plug in the negative 3. So we have, remember, if you're squaring it, we're going to put it in parentheses. Negative 3 squared minus 4. You can type it in the calculator. You can do it in your head. Negative 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 4 is just 5. And then we're going to plug in positive 5 for x. So here we're going to have 5 squared minus 4. Again, you can plug that into the calculator, do it in your head. 5 squared is 25. 25 minus 4 is 21. So these are your two answers, and we're just going to replace it over here. So when you plugged in negative 3, you got a positive 5. When you plugged in 5, you got a positive 21. You keep your inequalities the same. The only thing that's going to change is instead of x, we're going to put a y because this is our range. So 5 is less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 21 is your answer. Number 7 says multiply the binomials. You have 2x minus 3 and x plus 4. So we're going to plug it in 2x minus 3, x plus 4. So we're going to multiply that out. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. The only thing that you can combine on here are your x's. So you have an 8x and a negative 3x. So we have 2x squared. 8 minus 3 is 5. So 5x. And then you have minus 12. And that is your final answer. Okay. Number 8, it says what are the factors for the following trinomial? Okay, this is in your little journal. You write add above 7, multiply above your 12. Okay, we're going to do our little chart. So you need two numbers that will multiply to get you 12, but add to get you 7. So again, I'm going to write multiply above here, add above here. So let's say that I start with 2 and 6. 2 times 6 does give you 12, but when you add 2 plus 6, it gives you 8, and you need 7. So that's wrong. Okay, we can do 3 and 4. 3 times 4 does give you 12, and 3 plus 4 does give you 7. So that works. These are your factors, so you just write x plus 3 and x plus 4. What you can do to check your answer is do your Punnett square. So we can write that out. X plus 3, x plus 4. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 3 is 12. Again, you can combine the x's in your diagonal. So you have x squared. 4 plus 3 is 7, so 7x plus 12. That matches my problem up here, so I know my answer is correct. Alright, number 9, same thing. What are the factors for the following trinomial? So I need two numbers that when I add them will get me negative 9, but when I multiply will get me a positive 18. So we'll do our little table again. Need two numbers to multiply to get 18, add to get negative 9. Okay, so let's start with 2 and 9. Okay, 2 times 9 does give you 18, but when I add those, there's no way they'll give me a negative number. So the only other option you have to get this to be negative is to make both of these negative. Because a negative times a negative does give us a positive. When we add these though, negative 2 and negative 9 will give you negative 11. We need negative 9, so that's not going to work. You can do negative 3 and negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 6 does give you positive 18. And when you add negative 3 plus negative 6, that will get you negative 9. So that works, which means those two are your factors. So instead of putting x plus 3, we're going to do x minus 3. And since it's a negative 6, we'll do x minus 6. So that's your answer. And we're going to go ahead and check our answer. Make sure we didn't make any mistakes. So we have x minus 3, x minus 6. So we can multiply this out. That's going to give me x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 3 is a positive 18. Combine the x's. So we have x squared. Negative 6 and negative 3, when you combine those, will get you negative 9. So negative 9x, and then you have a positive 18. And that looks exactly like the problem. So that tells me my answer here is correct. Alright, number 10. It says a computer technician charges $22.50 per hour plus a $35 charge for a service call. What is the y-intercept of a graph of the function? Write the order pair. Okay, so first we can write the equation. Y equals, it charges $22.50 per hour. We don't know how many hours they'll be working, so we can put x. And plus, you have a one-time charge of $35. Okay, so this is in slope-intercept form. Y equals, there's your m, there's your x plus b. And it was asking for the y-intercept, which is your b. So this right here will just be 0, 35. Alright, number 11, it says the table below lists corresponding x and y values of a linear function. Write the equation that best represents this function in standard form. Easiest way to get your equation given a table is to put it in set edit. And we can try and see and pray this does not freeze on me again. So in L1, you can put negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And then in L2, we can put 11, 6, 1, negative 4, and negative 9. And make sure that you are knowing, or you know how to do this in the calculator, because we can't help you when you take your test with this. So we hit stat, go over to calc. It's linear, so we're going to hit the number 4. And then we just hit enter, enter all the way to calculate, hit enter again, and there's your equation. So y equals negative 5x plus 1. Y equals negative 5x plus 1. Now, the problem is that's in slope-intercept form, and it's asking for it to be in standard form. So x and y have to be on the same side. So when I move the negative 5x over, if it's negative, it's going to become positive. So 5x plus y is equal to 1. And then you just ask yourself, do you have any no-nos? And you don't. It's not a negative. It's not a fraction. So that's your final answer. Fairly easy. Okay, number 12 says, where does the quadratic equation that is graphed below cross the x-axis? Okay, well, it's fairly easy. Here's your x-axis. It even tells you it's your x-axis. And you're looking to see where this quadratic equation crosses the x-axis. So there's two places here at negative 2 and over here at positive 3. So when we look at our answer choices, it's when x equals negative 2 and positive 3, and that is H. Very, very easy problem. Okay, number 13 says twice the sum of a number and 4 is 18. Write an equation to match the verbal statement. So you have twice the sum. Anytime you're multiplying by the sum, you have to have parentheses. Of a number, you can use n or you can use x. And means you're adding. You have the number 4. Is means equals, and then you have 18. And that's it. You're not having to solve that one or anything. Just write it out. Alright, number 14. What is the effect on the graph of changing the equation y equals negative x minus 4 to y equals negative x plus 2? So if it helps, you can write below this y equals mx plus b and y equals mx plus b. So if you notice, your slope here is a negative 1. So I'll just write m equals negative 1. And your slope here is also a negative 1. So m equals negative 1. So the first question says the slope. And if you look, we can say, well, my slope is negative 1 for both. So the slope is the same. Then the next little part says the line shifts blank by blank units. Well, there's two ways you can do this. You can put this into y equals. You can just do a quick little graph. Your first y-intercept is down here at negative 4. Your second y-intercept is up here at 2. So just by looking at this, going from negative 4 to positive 2, your line is going to shift up. And it says by how many units. You can do your little bunny hops and count. So you're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Again, you can put both these in y equals, look at your graph, and do it that way. Alright, last page, number 15. It says, what is the slope of the linear equation y equals negative 2? Circle the correct answer. Okay, just because you see a negative does not mean the answer is negative. Best way to do this is go to y equals, type in negative 2, and hit graph so you can see it with your own eyes. That it is a horizontal line, and if you remember, okay, there's a lot of different ways you can remember this. The slope of this line is going to be 0. I tell my kids about the heartbeat, okay, whenever you look on the heart monitor and it goes like that, your heartbeat is 0, your heart rate 0, so the slope of this line is going to be 0. Okay, so just to refresh your memory, positive is going to go up. It's going to look like this on a graph. Okay, negative would go down. 0 goes straight across. Undefined goes straight up and down. Undefined would be x equals some number. So 0 is always y equals some number. Undefined will be x equals some number. Okay, number was it 16? Write the equation y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2 in standard form. So it's a slope-intercept form. To put it in standard form, you're going to have to do your exciting move again. If it's a negative, when you move him over, he'll become positive. And then you ask yourself, do I have any no-nos? The two no-nos you check for is no negatives and no fractions. Here you have a fraction, so to get rid of that, you multiply everything by the denominator, which is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything in here by 3. You can use your calculator to do 3 times 1/3. That would just give you 1, so 1x. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 2 is 6. That would be your answer in standard form. Number 17, write the equation 2x plus 4y is equal to 12 in slope-intercept form. Okay, so again, you're going to do your exciting move. So you have a positive 4y is equal to, if that's a positive 2x, when you move him over, he becomes negative plus 12. And then we're going to do the great divide. So you have a 4 in front of the y, so you're going to divide everything in here by 4. That gives you 1. So 1y is equal to, you can type this in the calculator and hit math and enter. When you do negative 2 divided by 4, math and enter, it gives you negative 1/4. Don't forget the x. And you can do 12 divided by 4, math and enter, or just know 12 divided by 4 is 3. And that's your final answer. Okay, number 18, the commission is 9.25%. The amount of earnings is a function of the total sales. What is the independent variable? All this is DFI. You have function of, so there's your F, and remember it's alphabetical order, so DFI. The amount of earnings, that's your dependent variable, and your total sales is your independent variable. So it says what is the independent variable, that's your total sales. And that is going to be G. Very, very easy problem. Alright, number 19 says solve the equation. You have 4x minus 10 is equal to 2 times 7 minus x. Draw my line right here on the equal sign. I have one set of parentheses I have to get rid of, so I'm going to distribute this 2. So I have 2 times 7, which is 14. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. And then I have 4x minus 10 on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and get my x's on the same side. If it's a negative 2x, we're going to add 2x to both sides. So I'm going to add 2x over here. Those cross out. 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6x minus 10 is equal to 14. Alright, and then we have a simple two-step equation. So if I have a minus 10, I'm going to add 10 on both sides. Those cross out. I have 6x is equal to 14 and 10. Give me 24. Okay, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So x is equal to 4. Now, once you get your answer, you should always check it. So I have 4 times 4 minus 10 should equal whatever I get when I do 2 times 7 minus x. And x is 4, so 7 minus 4. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16. 16 minus 10 will give me 6. Again, you can always type that in the calculator. 7 minus 4 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 equals 6 is true, so I know my answer here is correct. Okay, last one. It says number 20. If x comma negative 1.4 is a solution to the equation 2x plus 4y equals 26, what is the value of x? So here's x and y. So you know what your y value is. So for my problem over here, we're going to plug in that negative 1.4 for y. So 2x plus 4 times my y value is negative 1.4 is equal to 26. Okay, we're going to go ahead and solve it. So I have 2x. 4 times negative 1.4 is negative 5.6. It's equal to 26. Simple two-step after this. So you're going to add 5.6 to both sides. That's my 0 pair. So I have a 2x left over. And then you add on this side, you'll get 31.6. Divide both sides by 2. You can type that in the calculator. You'll end up getting x is equal to 15.8. Okay, again, always check your answer, especially when these are your gridables. So I have my equation 2 times x is 15.8 plus 4 times y. We already know y. We already labeled it. That was a negative 1.4. And when you plug that in, it should come out to 26. Okay, so since these are some crazy decimals, I'll go ahead and put it in the calculator. So we have 2 times 15.8 plus 4 times negative 1.4. And when I hit enter, that comes out to 26. Okay, and so when I look over here at my work, it's supposed to come out to 26. So 26 does equal 26. Since that's true, I know my answer here is correct. And if you get a wrong answer, if this does not come out to 26, then you know you did something wrong and can go back and check your work. Okay, so if you have any questions or need any help, more than welcome to come and ask us.